What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and welcome back to Top 5 Tuesday, a weekly series where we count down the top 5 characters, teams, stories, and concepts from across the comic book industry. And in this video, we're going to be counting down the top 5 non-powered Marvel superheroes. Now, keep in mind, these are characters with no powers in the traditional sense, meaning that telepathy, telekinesis, energy projection, matter manipulation, ties to mysticism, and all the derivatives of that stuff, including the super soldier serum, will not be included here. And so for all of you fans of Captain America, I'm sorry to say we are not going to see him on this list. Having said that, let's jump into it. So starting off the list at our number 5 spot is none other than Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Initially introduced as the sidekick of Captain America in Captain America Comics number 1 in 1941, Bucky Barnes' history from the original interpretation was actually retconned by Ed Brubaker in Captain America Volume 5 with the resurrection of Bucky Barnes after his presumed death during World War II. Due to Captain America's unwillingness to kill targets as well as engage in other unsavory actions in a combat situation, Bucky Barnes was basically trained as a teenager in order to be an expert assassin. He was actually introduced as Captain America's sidekick, and while fighting alongside Captain America in World War II, Bucky Barnes demonstrated a cunning mind and a very, very ruthless nature in his willingness to basically kill enemy soldiers with no questions asked. And when he was saved by the Russians after his presumed death and transformed into the Winter Soldier, his skills were multiplied several times over, which made him an almost equal to Steve Rogers in hand-to-hand combat speed and endurance, and he even undertook the mantle of Captain America after the death of Steve Rogers at the hands of Agent 13, Sharon Carter. So coming in at number 4 is Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, and you had to know she was going to be on this list. Initially appearing in Tales of Suspense number 52 in 1964, Black Widow, like Bucky Barnes, was trained as an expert assassin, but where Bucky Barnes was trained by Americans first, followed by the Russians, Natasha Romanoff was trained by the Russians directly in the infamous Red Room program. Black Widow's training during her time in the Red Room and her experiences with S.H.I.E.L.D., the Avengers, and Heroes for Hire, as well as the Lady Liberators, have actually helped her to develop a mind capable of analyzing, prioritizing, and responding to multiple S.H.I.E.L.D. situations simultaneously, meaning at the same time, as well as being an expert in military-grade weapons, S.H.I.E.L.D. weapons, and alien weapons and technology, in addition to being a master in over 15 different forms of martial arts, all of which come together to make her one of the most formidable non-powered assassins in the world, second only maybe to the villain Elektra. So rounding out our list in the number 3 spot is my personal favorite, Frank Castle, the Punisher. Initially appearing in Amazing Spider-Man number 129 in 1974, Frank Castle has no enhancements of any kind to his body whatsoever. Instead, Frank Castle is powered, for lack of a better word, by the memory of his dead family and his subsequent desire to kill villains anywhere and everywhere, regardless of the situation or even their desire to atone for their actions. Having previously been trained as a member of the Marine Force Recon, the Australian SAS, and even the United States Navy SEALs, Frank Castle possesses advanced knowledge in all forms of weapons, explosive ordnance, military-grade weapons, specialized weapons, stealth, espionage, intelligence gathering, and torture, not to mention his incredible mental resistance to pain and his skills in hand-to-hand combat. Simply speaking, once Frank Castle commits to killing a target, the only thing that can stop him is his own death. Coming in at the number 2 spot on our list is none other than Rocket Raccoon, and in truth, I put him in here because I thought you guys would love it. There were better choices besides Rocket Raccoon for the number 2 spot, but he's still pretty formidable. Initially appearing in Marvel Preview number 7, but gaining popularity with the Incredible Hulk in issue number 271, Rocket Raccoon is a bipedal raccoon guarding the Keystone Quadrant of the Marvel Universe, and actually possesses skills and knowledge in both Earthbound and alien-based martial arts, starships, weapon systems, and explosive ordnance, as well as being a highly adept military tactician and strategist, able to immediately adjust almost any situation to his favor. Now coming in at the number 1 spot on our list Nick Fury. Initially appearing in Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos in 1963, Nick Fury was previously established as a soldier and eventual spy with no real exceptional skills beyond what we've seen in this list so far. In fact, the only real notable role that he played for the longest time was being the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which allowed him knowledge in various S.H.I.E.L.D. weapons and systems, but that was really about it. But all of this changed during the original Sin event when it was revealed that Nick Fury had been systematically eliminating threats to Earth since the 1960s, and that to us as the reader, for every single foe that was faced by the Earthbound heroes, this was simply just a circumstance that Nick Fury couldn't stop. This was simply just an instance whereby he couldn't keep these forces from threatening the planet Earth. Furthermore, Nick Fury's actions as the man on the wall, as he referred to it, led him both within the Earth itself as well as throughout the cosmos and even to other dimensions, requiring him to become knowledgeable in universal weapon systems, universal starships, cosmic entities, other dimensional concepts, other dimensional weapons, other dimensional starships in their entirety. And in addition to all of this, Nick Fury during the original Sin event was single-handedly able to defeat a full contingent of the Avengers by himself, led by Steve Rogers and Thor, and he was actually able to strip Thor of his ability to wield his own hammer by whispering something that Marvel hasn't revealed yet. So there you have it. That is my top 5 list. So here's my question for you guys. What's your top 5? Give me your top 5 list of superheroes in Marvel Comics that have no powers. With that being said, I will catch you guys later. Peace.